Hi there, welcome to another episode of Fixed Right Unplugged. I am very honored, happy to have our inside service manager, Miss Nikki Frost, with us today. We actually filmed this one time before, but we had some technical sound quality issues, so we're doing a do-over. And it's a shame because Nikki actually crushed it last time, and I'm really hoping she doesn't suck this time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
let's start. No pressure,
No
no pressure.
pressure. Yeah.
All right, so Nikki has a awesome story, and she's like really kind of got a special place in our hearts. So the last 5 years she's been here, but I'll kind of let you share the story. Like, how did you come to work here in the first place?
Well, um, I unless can't do I about 5 years ago I bought a foreclosure house over in Mechanicsville. So bought a foreclosure. I didn't know anything about it, what worked in it. There was no power to it. I mean, we kind of started from the ground up with it. The HVAC was one of the things that we had to have addressed. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I was pretty much handling everything. My husband David was at work, so I handled all the house stuff and getting things taken care of. So put out a phone call to a propane company because I knew it was a propane something. I had no idea. It was a propane boiler, by the way. Um, they came out, basically deemed that the boiler needed to be replaced. Gave me a couple recommendations, a couple companies. I don't even remember the other two companies, but one was Fixed Right and Guaranteed. And I was like, whoa, that's a name. I want to call them. So I called Fixed Right. And actually, I think it was you that answered the phone.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
it
knew it
was
was when it came out,
Michelle.
but I don't remember who answered.
I don't know. It was either Roy or Michelle that was answering phones and came out, and Roy gave me an estimate to replace my system, and I hired them and put a new system in my house. And then I think it was maybe a month later, month and a half later. Again, I was a stay-at-home mom. My daughter, I think, was two and a half at the time, and we were making each other crazy. Like it was awful. I'm not a good stay-at-home mom. I'm a good mom, but it's just not for me. So they had put a post out on Facebook that I had saw about hiring technicians, and I was like, "Well, do you need somebody in the office, or do you need anybody?" And they were like, "You know what? Maybe." And I think I texted Roy all of this, and then did a phone interview with Roy, which I learned later Michelle was in the background listening, and I had an interview and I got hired, and I've been here for almost 5 years. So it's kind of crazy how things work out. Buying that house, needing a new HVAC system, and I don't know. It's crazy how things work out. So I'm very thankful
Yeah.
that it did.
Now she literally like, if we go away, we know Nikki and several other people here in the company, but we know that Nikki can handle pretty much anything that comes up. You just have become like our right hand person for both of us, and have taken a ton of pressure off of me specifically. And I know Michelle would agree the same thing for her. So you are absolute rock star, which I tell you that all the time, and
Yeah,
I will never continue or never stop telling you that.
I appreciate it.
All right. So, um, what has surprised you the most over the last 5 years of being here, whether it be about the industry or about fixed rate?
Um, I would say a few things, and this is something I've said to you, I feel like numerous times, and actually other people that start working here is one of the things is the day that I met you and Michelle. You guys are just wonderful people. And it's like you come to an interview, and I feel like potential bosses are on their best behavior and they want you to work for them. And they're just so nice and kind and everything. And it's like, man, this is like too good to be true. And y'all are literally the same people that you were when I was hired 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And like it wasn't an act, you know? And it's got to be tough working. I feel like it would be tough. I can't imagine working with my husband all day, every day. I love you, David, but no, we cannot do projects together. God, if we were to put together like a side table together, we're not okay, working on things together. But we never argue. I'm getting off subject,
It's all good.
but I couldn't do it. And you guys are just like the perfect everything. I don't know how you do it. So I don't know.
It's
Y'all
easy. I
work
know she's
great
the boss, so
together.
it's good.
Right. And I mean, and that's like all you need to know. But you guys work very well together. You make the atmosphere very calm and just normal. And it's not, no personal home stuff gets brought into anything. I mean, we're all, a family, so we know each other's life and everything that we do. But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So that part is what has probably surprised me the most. Doesn't surprise me anymore, but I like talking about that because I think it's important. And then on like the HVAC side of things, I think what surprised me is that I was hired as a CSR to answer phones, and like my job is basically to take the phone call, book the call. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The technician's job is to answer the technical questions and go out and fix things and be the hero. So what has surprised me is just how much I've learned on the technical side of things and how much I enjoy learning it. And it's like I find myself scrolling on Facebook at night and watching these awesome HVAC technicians fixing things. So it's like I learn stuff on that aspect, and the guys are really good with helping me learn new things that I'm not great with. Um, but I like being able to answer those technical questions on the phone and um, just kind of grasping how systems work and not just dispatching
yeah.
phone calls, you
This
know?
this is more of a statement than a question because I'm not going to throw something new at you that I didn't share with you that I was going to do
I'm
because
not
I've
ready.
been known to do that.
Ah,
But now I was sharing with Nikki on a text or Telegram group the other night. But y'all as CSRs here in the office, y'all do have so CSR site service manager, but anybody in here answering the phone, y'all genuinely do sometimes have the tougher role. I mean, physically, I think the technicians with the attics, the crawl spaces, the heavy lifting, yeah, that's very physically demanding. On the mental side, there's just as much demand in here because y'all are having to take that phone call when somebody's in that panic mode, that frantic situation. And
yep.
one thing I say about you, and again, something else I've repeated many times, the calm that you bring to this office, while you kind of gave us that compliment, I wish I could handle my poker face and calmness the way you do. Like you're
You've gotten a
incredible.
lot better. I've seen
Uh,
5 years ago,
right?
I could see when it starts to boil a little bit, but you've gotten a lot
Yeah. Well,
better.
and again, probably
Thanks
you've taken
in
a lot of
part.
pressure off of me. But
Yeah,
anyway, so thank you for all that
yeah.
you do there. So we've been very fortunate to win Best Place to Work 5 years in a row, and I would say you're a huge part of that because you, again, that calmness that you bring, and you can you can multitask like nobody I've ever seen before. So you do a great job. But from your perspective, again, you kind of touched on it, but just overall for like new people coming in today, or maybe somebody who haven't we haven't even hired yet, you know, do you really feel like is fixed rate and guaranteed truly the best place to work? As we've been fortunate enough to win 5 years in a row.
Yeah, it's definitely the best place to work. I feel like we have such an awesome team, and I feel like I could call anybody if I needed anything outside of, work related stuff. Like even any of our technicians, it's like we just have people that care about one another and have great attitudes. I mean, we have tough days and sometimes it gets the best of all of us, in the office, in the field. But it's like if we have a tough day and we feel like we might not have been the best, we talk about it and we hug it out and things are fine and we make it another day and we just have a great team here. We have a lot of fun in the office, probably more fun than we should have, I've been told, but we get a lot of work done on top of that. So,
Yes, y'all do.
yeah.
Um, so we'll shift gears a little bit. So you handle really one of the tougher jobs in acquiring parts because that, especially since COVID, that has been like a challenge in our industry that I've never seen. The last 5 years, I'd say, has been much tougher than ever it was before COVID. Not just any one particular manufacturer, although some are tougher than others, but as the person who orders parts has to deal with, okay, how much does it cost? Is it available? If it's not available, what in the world do we do? How do we find it? So can you kind of speak to like just some things that are kind of top of mind to you when it comes to like ordering parts, mainly from the client's perspective? Like, shouldn't every single part just be available in a truck?
No. In a perfect world, yes. Our trucks are very well stocked.
Mm.
I feel like more so than any other company that I could imagine. So we have a lot of things, but then when it comes to certain parts failing on your system, they are system specific to your unit.
So,
And where do we get those parts from? From the carrier or the vendor. So can I name drop brand?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll start by saying that we love Amana. We install Amana. We can really install anything. But Amana getting parts and things like that, they bend over backwards for us. Whether it's something special order or they overnight, they deliver to us. How far do they drive every single day to us?
Yeah. Mount Joy, Pennsylvania down to us. Yeah.
They come from Pennsylvania every day and deliver parts and equipment for us, sometimes on the job site. So we love Amana warranties. They bend over backwards for us. Great relationship. You call, they answer. When it comes to parts failing for, let's say, a carrier system, just to drop names, um, I struggle sometimes finding parts for those systems. And I feel like it's just gotten worse over the years. And this is with other manufacturers as well. Carrier's just the one I'm a name drop. Um,
We've run into it with Train. I'll name drop Train on that one.
Train as well. Yeah, and it's tough being that middle person. It's tough when the client calls and you are there saving grace to get said part because obviously clients can't get those parts without a reputable HVAC company being in the middle of it. So it's like you call and you try and get these parts and you don't get somebody on the phone or online it shows that it's unavailable, but again, you can't get anybody on the phone or to respond and tell you something. So it almost looks bad on us, um, to where we just don't have answers, and it really sucks
Yeah.
sometimes, and it's hard. And that goes back to like the mental thing where it kind of gets mentally draining because you're trying to do the most,
Yeah.
and it's like you're just at a brick wall sometimes, and it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
was literally talking to a friend in Texas who's literally an hour away from the Train factory, and they'll get the same thing, like no ETA. Like we're an hour from the factory. How's that even a thing? But yeah, carrier Train, anything, anytime it's a proprietary
mhm,
part, which kind of what you're alluding to, proprietary parts, in some cases there just is not another option. So we have to wait for them. And when it says no ETA, we call them. It's like, really, no ETA? Like, yep, you'll get it when you get it. And that's literally
yeah,
their answer. But to your point with Amana, like, no, we'll have it to you the next day. And if it's not available, we're going to figure out some other solution to get your customer up and running. Like they have our client's best interest at heart, just like
hmm,
we do. So we've been able to do a lot of creative things to get people heating and air conditioning, especially with Amana. Anytime there's options, even with other manufacturers, maybe it's something we didn't even install. If there's a workaround, well, we'll absolutely do it. But yeah, it's just those proprietary parts from a cost standpoint and the availability has been a big challenge. And you rock and how you've been able to find stuff when multiple other companies couldn't. Again, a lot of times with help of service managers and technicians that, like even Chris last night, 9 o'clock at night, he's messaging in our
it's hard.
Telegram group. He found something that we've been struggling to find.
Hmm.
So he took it upon himself and he was able to help find that. So great teamwork. And just one kind of explain like parts availability. That can be a very dynamic, tough thing some days.
Yeah, and one thing that I like that we do is we have an app that keeps our communication lines open for the different departments and different, duct cleaning, service, install. We have a whole group. We have one that's just for memes and funny stuff. We have a lot of groups like within this app, and one that we did was like an emergency group. So it's like basically if we go out and we cannot get you up and running and it's, 20 degrees outside and you have no heat or vice versa in air conditioning time, the technician will put that information in this group to where we can all see it. And then basically everybody from different directions is putting their 2 cents in. Did you try this? Did you do this? Sometimes we don't think of certain things or like, hey, I've got this on my truck, let's try this. So it's like we never want to leave anybody without heat or without air conditioning. And we make it known to basically the entire company and all of our best techs that this person, your name, you don't have heat. Everybody knows about it. And everybody then gets together and is like, what can we do? So I think that's awesome that we do that because the goal is always to get you back up and running same day. So,
Good call.
yeah.
So, one another thing that you do a great job with is having conversations with people about repair versus replace. So, sometimes it's not really in the best interest to repair something that's older, maybe an old R22 system. It's got a significant repair. So there's a lot of times you'll have these conversations with people like nobody once wakes up in the morning, hey, let's go, you know, get a 10-year loan on, you know, a new HVAC system. Like, let's just kick the can down the road a little bit. But you do a great job of helping people understand that sometimes that may not be the best decision. So talk about that. Like, kind of what do those conversations typically sound like when you're talking about repair versus replace?
Well, it'll typically start with pricing up a repair. I price up a repair. I look at how old the equipment is, if it's still in warranty status or out of warranty status. And I mean, if it's an expensive repair and the system is older, out of warranty status, or about to be out of warranty status, I can't tell you how many times I've seen clients go the repair route and spend thousands of dollars on older systems and then call us 6 months later because a new season has started and their compressor has failed or their motor has failed, and then either can't locate parts or it's just another huge repair.
Yeah,
And
coil leaking or something like that.
yes, so it's like those conversations I feel are very necessary because, for one, it's just educating, like, look, you have another option. This is what that other option looks like. And I would hate for you to spend thousands of dollars now to potentially spend thousands of dollars 6 months, a year, even 2 years from now, when that money can be put towards a new system, new warranties. You know, we offer different labor warranties up to 10 years on some, to where it's like anything outside of acts of God, you are covered.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like that peace of mind is priceless, you know?
Yeah.
It's one less thing to worry about in your life, all the things to go wrong. It's like, I need my air conditioning,
Yeah, and just
you know?
yeah, the kicking the can down the road philosophy doesn't really work anymore because back in the day, I'd say before COVID, we'd see one price increase a year, and you know, not that big of a deal, just kind of roll with inflation. But since COVID, it's been more
It's
like
been
4 or 5 price
crazy.
increases a year. So kicking the can down the road might end up costing you 10%, 20%, 30% more or higher in some cases.
Yep.
Because like in now, system that was available 2 years ago. Now it's a whole new refrigerant. The
Hmm.
refrigerant transition this year, so prices have gone up even more. So somebody that kicked that can down the road 2 years ultimately didn't do themselves any service if they're going to be the ones still doing it. Now, if you're going to be selling your house in the next year or two, you're
Right.
just trying to buy time and kind of push it, make it the
Yeah,
next person's problem. That might make
sometimes it works
sense.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Anyway, so that's I
yeah.
just appreciate how much you do a great job of educating people and kind of giving them the options so they make the decision that's best for them and their family. Um, so when you do have those folks that are like, you know what, that actually kind of makes sense, Nikki. Like, so what's that replacement process look like? Is there, do you have financing available? I know you do a great job of getting people pre-approved. Can you talk about how simple or complex that is?
So the pre-approval process, and we can do this for repairs also.
Okay.
So we can do financing for repairs, but the pre-approval process is so easy. Typically, it's just a conversation I have on the phone, like, hey, do you want to get pre-approved? It's a super soft pull on your credit. It takes less than 5 minutes.
So what does
Um,
soft pull mean?
like a soft pull on your credit, so it's not going to show up as a hard inquiry
Yep.
on your credit.
Okay, basically it doesn't show in your credit report at all until it's
No.
actually funded.
Right. And
Yep.
so basically, we'll get you approved. We can add a co-borrower if you need it. We've got other financing companies. If one doesn't approve you, we can try another one. So we've got affordable options to where, I financed my company financed my HVAC system through Fixed Right. When I got my system, I think my payments were like $107 a month. So, I mean, super affordable to be able to do it, but the pre-approval process, it'll basically tell you, like, you are approved up to $55,000 or $25,000 and things like that. So, going into when Denny, our field supervisor, or somebody else comes out to your house, you're looking at these things, and that you can afford to have maybe the nicer system or the longer labor warranty and spend a little bit extra because you've got that availability with the financing, you
Agreed.
know?
Yeah, that's the thing. We try to give like anywhere from 3 to 5 options, you know, every house we go to. So then again, it becomes your choice, what's good for you and your family, whether it be indoor air quality, higher efficiency system, longer warranties to Nikki's point, just for
Mhm.
extra peace of mind. But yeah, just that it's literally a 5 minute process. So whether you do it by phone, we can email you, quick app, literally 5 minutes. You have a pre-approval that doesn't hit your credit report unless you actually use the funding.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
all right. What do you enjoy most about your job and being here? Say, we talked about when you first started, but kind of in today's terms, like what do you enjoy most about your job now?
Um, I enjoy, I think first and foremost, talking to clients and kind of building a relationship with them. And then some people call and they ask for me by name, which always is super cool. Uh, and I don't know, I just feel like it really boils down to the clients. I love the clients. I love that we have our office right here in Owings. Like, and people like stop by and you can match faces with, voices and like, man, I've been talking to you for 5 years and I've never actually met you. So it's kind of a surreal feeling in that aspect. Um, about working here. I mean, we're growing. I think that's awesome. Um, not anything super intentional. It just is kind of happening. So we're kind of just learning as we go processes and procedures to keep a smooth running machine and um, I don't know.
Yeah, keep our culture strong as we grow.
Yeah,
That's the number one
absolutely.
priority to all of us.
Yep, got to
We're
keep good people.
we're more
Yeah,
interested in happiness than we are revenue.
yes, absolutely.
So, what are you looking forward to, say, over the next 5 or 10 years, whether it be personal and or career?
Oh gosh. Um, Personal, I guess. We bought a camper last year, so I'd like to do more long weekends, do some glamping. Um, that's on the personal side, I guess. I don't know, on the work side of things, just to keep learning, keep growing, um, be the best that I can be. That sounds so cliche. I don't really know what to say,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just kind of keep doing what I'm doing and learning new things and um, making keeping this company awesome.
yeah.
You know.
Well, you've grown tremendously. I can say over a 5 year period, you were always phenomenal right out of the gate. But the growth that I've seen you on a personal level, business level, and just how you hold things, I mean, you really are a major hub and just big part of this company. So we've been fortunate. We've taken Nikki to a couple of events in other states. It's part of the best practices group we're part of, and
Hmm.
she's seen what the best companies in the United States look like, and she's truly helped us build that to where I feel like we're in that conversation, fortunately, and you're a big part of that. So thank you for all you do because you are amazing.
Thanks. You're all
So
right. You're not so bad yourself.
all right, so thank you all for joining us. Just wanted you to kind of get to know Nikki on a personal level because I know many of you talk to her on the phone, and I do get I can't tell you how many compliments I've gotten over the years. Like, I just want to tell you, I was on the phone with Nikki, and she was such a pleasure to talk to. So I guarantee I've heard that dozens, and I don't know how many dozens of times, but it's been a lot, and it's very,
Lots of
very true.
dozens.
Lots of dozens. All right. So anyway, we hope you have an amazing week, and thank you for joining us. And until next time, have a great day.